Welcome to Beary Travels. Hi everyone, I'm Sis-B and I'll be doing some of the narration. Today, Beary is in Tallinn, the capital city of Estonia. Tallinn has two things that Beary likes. First, it has a train station, although sadly the trains are mostly boring modern ones. And second, it has tram lines, with a nice mixture of old and new trams. Beary loves trams. Beary had wanted to come in the summer, but he was busy learning to ride a penny farthing, so he had to come in late autumn instead. Grandpa Bear remembered that he had visited Tallinn more than 20 years earlier, and he was amazed to see how much the city had changed. Everything seemed modern and new, with expensive hotels, shiny buildings, and signs of development everywhere. Grandpa Bear insisted that this time they should experience some culture, so after filming a few trams, they made their way to the famous Old Town. Of course, the first thing they saw was this tourist train. Beary insisted on filming it go by. And now it's time for Beary's fun facts. Tallinn Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is described by UNESCO as an exceptionally complete and well-preserved medieval trading city on the Baltic Sea. It was very beautiful indeed. In the Middle Ages, Tallinn was part of the Hanseatic League, a powerful network of trading towns around the Baltic and Northern Europe. Tallinn's trams go back to 1888, and the first trams in Tallinn were horse-drawn. Beary said that he didn't know horses could draw. Tallinn sits on the Baltic Sea, which helped make it an important trading city. That also means you can get ferries to even colder places, like Helsinki. And that's all the time we have for Beary's fun facts. Grandpa Bear was really enjoying the opportunity to finally see some culture. The weather wasn't great, but the architecture was lovely. Grandpa Bear particularly liked the narrow cobbled streets and the colourful buildings. However, Beary was getting a bit bored, so Grandpa Bear had to buy him an ice cream. Whilst he was distracted, Grandpa Bear rushed to film the rest of the old town. The main point of interest is Tallinn Town Hall, the Gothic building with the tall spire. It's located in Town Hall Square, which has been the marketplace and civic center since the Middle Ages. Grandpa Bear left the square and walked along the medieval streets to collect Beary from the ice cream store. Beary then had to spend 10 minutes washing his hands and face. Lesson learned. Grandpa Bear was particularly taken with this Russian Orthodox cathedral they found, located quite near the Estonian Parliament building. This was built in the late 19th century, he declared. Much to Beary's annoyance, Grandpa Bear had one final place to go. A long climb up a lot of stairs for this lovely view, overlooking the old town, with the ferry port just about visible in the background. Finally, Grandpa Bear announced he had got enough footage and they could go back to the important task of filming more trams. They took the short walk back into the town center where they found some modern trams. Beary was more interested in the old ones, which seemed to be in short supply. Beary didn't like these modern ones much, although he had to admit they were probably more comfortable to ride. Grandpa Bear was keen to get his 10,000 steps in, so they continued to explore Tallinn, filming as they went. Lots of trams came and went, but Beary was waiting for another blue tram coming round the bend. Finally, his patience was rewarded. Beary's favorite tram was this retro blue one, numbered 168, also the name of one of Beary's favorite albums. The blue trams look like historic trams, boxy and wonderfully old-fashioned, whereas these modern ones looked, well, modern and lacking character. Unfortunately, the day had intermittent showers, forcing Beary and Grandpa Bear to spend more time in KFC than they would have liked. With a short break in the rain, they made their way towards St. Olaf's Church, where they saw a different retro blue tram, number 136, named after the first president of Estonia. In a stroke of luck, a short while later, Tram 141 came along, named after an important Estonian statesman. Grandpa Bear felt that finally, on this trip, he was really experiencing some culture. Beary and Grandpa Bear kept walking until they came to a lovely market near the train station. It has 3 levels and around 300 traders. Beary skipped all of that to film the trams going by. A short while later, this tram came along, named after a famous Estonian folk musician. Right, I need to go and do some homework. Here's Grandpa Bear to take up the story.
Hello everyone, Grandpa Bear here. How are you all? Good, good. It was so nice to be in Europe, filming trams and taking in the culture. Tallinn is such a lovely city. We weren't blessed with the best weather, but Beary and I were determined not to let that bring us down. I had just remembered that I visited Tallinn once before, shortly after Estonia gained its independence. Yes, Beary told me that another blue tram was coming along, so I quickly got out my drone to film it going past. The blue tram was lovely, as was this old tram, which I'm told was built in 1990. It looks like somebody got 3 different trams and stuck them together. Having seen the town centre, we decided to walk down to the ocean, where we climbed up the steps of a 5,000-seat amphitheatre, built in the Soviet era for the 1980 Moscow Summer Olympics. It's lovely to look at, if you are a connoisseur of concrete. Still, we were able to get this good shot of the trams going underneath the entrance. This is a very interesting part of Tallinn, where the old power station buildings and chimneys have been turned into cultural spaces. And, after a grey and overcast day, the sky cleared up. Better late than never. It was a lovely sunset, which got even better when it turned a strange purpley pink colour. Good news, Bear fans, it's time for another of my classic songs. Please enjoy. We spotted some boats coming and going, and we wandered over to have a look. Then we went into the ferry terminal, where we got this lovely shot from the 2nd floor. At this point, Beary said he was hungry, so we found a local restaurant. When we came out, the sky had turned dark blue. The trams looked lovely, lit up at night. Oh yes, Tiddles says he wants to advertise something. Take it away, Tiddles.
Hello, I'm Tiddles. I'm here to make an advertisement. I'm going to make a new channel called Tiddles Travels. It's going to be great. Please subscribe. Bye-bye.
Right. Thanks for that, Tiddles. I don't think I'll be rushing to subscribe to that channel anytime soon. Oh yes, I've just remembered that I've actually visited Tallinn more than once. I remember Tallinn Old Town very well. I helped build most of it, you know. Of course, at that time, we called it New Town. I'm not sure why they changed the name. Of course, I didn't build it myself. I mainly supervised, but my job was to sit on a barrel and tell people where to put the stones. The builders kept asking me, Grandpa Bear, should this tower be a little more wonky? And I would reply, yes, of course. Straight towers are for people with no imagination. That's why Tallinn Old Town looks so magical today.
Granddad, you're rambling again.
Oh, right. Of course. Anyway, you didn't come here to listen to me ramble on. Back to the video. Beary and I were starting to get a little sleepy, and that can only mean one thing. We're fast approaching the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed our little adventure around Tallinn. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment telling us why you won't be subscribing to Tiddles' channel.
Hey, Granddad Bear!
Oh, Tiddles, I thought you'd gone. Anyway, thanks for watching and goodbye.